Welcome back to Digital Dimension. Today, we're starting with the basics, variables and data types. Let's dive in and understand how we can store and manipulate data in Python. Do you remember what we did in the last video? If not, let me give you a quick recap. We visited onlinepython.com, an online Python code editor, and wrote the line print hello world. Do you remember what happened when we press run? The text hello world appeared right below, just as we expected. Wouldn't it be great if we had a way to write down pieces of information directly in our code as a reference? Well, most programming languages have a feature for this, and we call these comments. In Python, you start a comment by adding a hashtag. You might have noticed one already in our online code editor. It could look something like this: hashtag onlinepython-IDE. Editor, compiler, interpreter. This is a comment. Comments are special because they don't appear in your program's output when you press run. They're just for you or anyone reading your code. Let's start by clearing everything off your screen. If you already did this in the previous video, then you can leave the print hello world line. If not, go ahead and delete everything. Here's a tip. Press Ctrl A to select all the text, then press backspace to clear it. Now type print hello world, if you haven't already, and add a comment saying, print is a function that writes what is in between the parentheses. Don't forget to start your comment with the hashtag. I mentioned that print is a function, but what exactly is a function? Don't worry, we'll cover functions later in this course. Now that we have our setup, let's explore what variables are. Think of variables as named containers, where you can store data. The contents of this container can be changed at any time. In Python, creating a variable is as simple as typing name equal Python. Here, name is our variable, holding the string Python. Instead of name, you can use any word that makes sense for your program. However, be careful, there are some exceptions when naming variables. Variables are essential for storing information that can be referenced and manipulated throughout your program. They can hold different types of data, such as numbers, text, and more, making them incredible versatile tools for any programmer. Understanding how to properly use variables is a foundational skill in programming. Earlier I mentioned that there are some rules and conventions when naming variables. Let's go over them. A variable name must start with a letter or the underscore character. Starting with an underscore has a special meaning in Python, often used for private variables or functions. You can explore this further through additional research if you want. A variable name cannot start with a number. This is a strict rule in Python. It's important to use meaningful names that describe the data they hold. For example, user age is more descriptive than just you. A variable name can only contain alphanumeric characters and underscores. This means letters A to Z, in uppercase or lowercase, numbers 0 to 9, and underscores. Variable names are case-sensitive. This means age in lowercase is different than age with a capital and age with uppercase. There are three different variables in Python. A variable name cannot be any of Python's reserved keywords. For example, you cannot name a variable print. We'll cover more Python keywords later on. Variable names can consist of multiple words, and how you format these words is called a naming convention. Here are some common ones. Pascal case, where the first letter of each word is capitalized, like variable name. Camel case, similar to Pascal case, but the first letter is lowercase, like variable name. Snake case, all words are in lowercase and separated by underscores, like variable underscore name. This is the standard naming convention in Python, widely adopted by the Python community. While different languages and communities might prefer different conventions, in Python, snake case is the recommended style. Respecting naming conventions makes your code more readable and consistent with the wider Python community. Personally, I like to use camel case, but when writing Python code, we'll stick with snake case to align with the community standards. Remember, when naming variables, it's important to consider that you might share your code in the future. Following these naming conventions ensures that your code is easy for others to read and understand. Now let's dive into our first data type, strings. Strings are sequences of characters enclosed in quotes, and they can include text, numbers, or symbols. We have already used the string before, the classic hello world, which is often the first thing beginners learn to code, but strings can be much more versatile. For example, consider this: greeting equals hello Peter. What did we do here? We stored our string in a variable. This shows how useful variables are. They allow us to store and reuse our data. Now let's talk about concatenation, which is just a fancy word for joining things together. When it comes to strings, concatenation means combining two or more strings into one continuous string. For instance, imagine we have another string that says, "Welcome to Python programming." If we want to combine it with our greeting, we can do this. Full greeting equals to greeting plus welcome to Python programming. What happened here? We used the plus operator to join or concatenate our original greeting with the new string. The result is a single, longer string. Hello Peter, welcome to Python programming. Notice how we left a blank space before welcome. Well, we can do this when storing string variables. This helps when you are trying to concatenate two strings together. Storing and concatenating strings is really powerful because it lets us build and manipulate text dynamically in our programs. You can think of it like building blocks, where you can connect different pieces of text to create exactly what you need. Python offers several ways to manipulate strings. What do I mean by this? For instance, you can convert text to uppercase with greetings.upper, or find the length of a string with len parenthesis greeting. Let's try printing these to see the results. These operations make strings a powerful tool for handling textual data in your programs. And there's much more you can do with strings. For example, you can slice strings to get a specific part of the text. This can be very useful when working with this data type. For example, print full greetings, square brackets 1 to 6. See what happens when you press run. The numbers we use here represent the indexes of the characters we want to extract. We're telling Python to give us the characters from position 1 to position 6. But here's a little trick. In Python, indexing starts at 0, so the first character actually has an index of 0, not 1. This is something you'll encounter often in programming. Don't forget that you can add comments to your code to document important information. Comments are ignored by Python, but are helpful for explaining your code to yourself and others. Finally, if you want to explore more ways to manipulate strings, you can visit resources like W3 Schools, which provides a comprehensive list of string methods. Now, let's talk about numbers. Python handles numbers using two main types, integers and floats. Integers are whole numbers without decimal points, like age equal 30. Floats are numbers, but they include decimal points, like temperature equal 36.6. You can perform arithmetic operations on these, just like in math: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. This is built into Python. For example, my age equal age plus 10, or average equal 10 plus 20 divided by 2. Understanding these data types is crucial for tasks that involve calculations and numerical data manipulation. Python also supports complex numbers for more advanced mathematical operations. In Python, we call the plus or minus sign operators. You have a lot of different operators in Python. You can get a full list here. Booleans are the simplest data type in Python, with only two possible values, true or false. They're often used in conditions and loops. For example, is adult equal age bigger or equal than 18 will be true if age is 18 or more, otherwise false. Booleans are essential for decision making in your programs. You can use them to control the flow of your program with conditional statements like if, else, and elif. For instance, you can write code that executes certain actions only if a condition is met. Boolean logic also plays a crucial role in loop control and function returns. Now, let's put it all together with a practical demonstration. We'll create a name variable holding a string, an age variable as an integer, a temperature variable as a float, and an isDay variable with a Boolean value. Watch as we manipulate these variables and see the power of Python in action. For example, we'll change the value of age and see how it affects our program. You can also perform some arithmetic operations and string manipulations to demonstrate the versatility of Python's data types. This hands-on approach will solidify your understanding of variables. Variables can be reassigned. What do I mean by this? Let's get the name variable you used in the demonstration and use it again. Name equals John. And let's print it again. What do you think the value will be? When you press run, you can see that the value of name changed. Unless your name is John, of course. This can be very powerful depending on the context. Another important thing to understand is how Python handles different data types. While variables can hold any type of data and can even change types when reassigned, you need to be careful when performing operations with different types. For example, if you try to run error var equal a plus 1, you'll get a type error. This happens because you're trying to add a string and an integer together, which Python doesn't know how to do automatically. Understanding this is crucial for avoiding errors in your code. Let's save what we have done in this episode so that you can use it as a learning resource later. To download this information, click the disk symbol at the top and store it as variables and data types. And that's a wrap on variables and data types in Python. Remember, variables are like containers for data, and understanding the types of data you can store is crucial as you begin your programming journey. Keep practicing and you'll get the hang of it in no time. We have covered strings, numbers, booleans, and naming conventions, setting a solid foundation for your Python programming skills. As you progress, these fundamentals will help you tackle more complex problems and projects. Enjoyed learning about Python's variables and data type? Give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more tutorials. Drop your questions in the comments below. We are here to help you on your programming journey. So stay tuned for more exciting lessons and tips. See you in the next dimension.